join in or not. We'll see if he is, but I guess we can.
All right, hey guys, so we're going to be setting up a media room, going through some steps with Lane in regards to Genesys signals. Used to be called Quantum Newswire, and we're going to be going through this, setting up a media room on a brand new site that never had a media room installed, and I'm going to let Lane go ahead and take it from there. Let's see, if you want to share your screen, Lane, I'll put that up there too.
Okay.
If you are watching for the first time, just make sure you give StreamYard access so it can post comments and we can see any comments live as we are in here.
You see my screen, William?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a live setup for Tony. Tony's got a new account with Signal Genesys, and we're going to do a live setup for him and his agency. I guess we're doing this live here. So,
Yes, sir.
Tony's the lucky fellow we're going to set this up for. So the first thing we have to do is if we go into press releases here, you're going to see we need to fill out his agency information. So if you've got a brand new account, the first thing you have to do is actually fill out your own agency information. So that's what we're doing right now. Actually, we're going to do this directly from his GMB listing. So if you have a GMB listing for your agency or the company that you're setting up inside Signal Genesys, have the GMB listing, kind of open right next to you. So then you can just literally just, kind of copy and paste directly from, what you have there in GMB. And we want this to be exactly as it is in GMB. All right. We don't want there to be any variance at all in the name, address, phone number for the setup here. So just make sure that you really are accurate with what you put in here, and then it's consistent with what you have in your Google My Business listing. Some of this I don't know exactly what year he incorporated as, so we'll leave that blank. But we want to, in the best case scenario, we want to fill all of this information out. I've got his company logo here. I'm going to drop that in here. Why is that happening? Oh, it's an SVG. That's why. Okay, so let's see if we can get a non-SVG logo. There we go. We got a PNG. That we can drop right in there. You can see it drops in there. And then if we go back here, we've got their links to Facebook. So we can just drop that right here. And we want to do all that if at all possible, because all of these links are going to be used in same as schema. Let's go back here. That's YouTube. So the more, the better. As long as it's all correct. There's LinkedIn. And just simple copy and paste. And then we'll just come in here and see if we can grab a little bit of something about them. All right, so we'll take that and copy that. And it might be too much. Yeah, it's a little too much. So there we go. Turn that there, and that's and save. Okay. Did I get something in here? The YouTube channel. Oh, there, we can take this out. There we go. Okay, now that unlocks the account. So again, if you've got a brand new Signal Genesys account, you do need to fill out your agency information first. That will you'll be prompted to do that if you haven't done that. Once you do that, we come into our account screen here, and the profile and the email here, this is going to be your login information. You want to keep it the same thing that's in here. So you don't want to change the email here or in here for your agency, because that is your login information. It's different for your companies. Obviously, when you add in a new company down here, these are going to be your client companies. Obviously, if you're an agency owner and you own a second or a third company yourself, you can add your own companies down here as well. Your agency information is going to be here under reseller information. And so here is where we're going to actually launch the media room for the Code Nerds next. Okay, so now that we've got his agency information all set up in here, we're going to now go ahead and log into his website. So we're going to test his security and see if he's got default login page, and he does. All right, so we want to make a recommendation to Tony to change that login page. All right, that login page is the default login page, and that's the very first thing that a hacker is going to try and do, is just break this or compromise this login page with a brute force attack. So we always changed our login pages on our WordPress sites to something besides the default. And because you can see, I even though I didn't have the login page, I was able to guess it. We're going to log in. We're now into the WordPress site. You can launch a media room on any platform. It doesn't have to be WordPress. It can be a Doodah site, a GoDaddy site, a Wix or Weebly. You just need to be able to come in here and create a new page. So whatever admin you have, you just need to be able to come in, add a new page. We're going to just go ahead and call this media room. And we'll go ahead and we're just going to use the default editor here. And I'm going to go back to Single Genesys now. We're going to go to the Integrations tab. I'm going to go to Branded Integrations. I'm going to choose. I'm going to create the media room code. Done. Drop it down. Copy it. It automatically copies to our clipboard when we hit Copy Integration Code. We go back to our page here. We're going to drop this into an HTML box, paste it, and publish it. And that's it, guys. The media room is now live. We'll go ahead and look at it and view it just to test it. And there it is. Now, you can see here it's got a sidebar over here. So what we really want to do is we want to make this into a full width page if we can. So hopefully they've got a template in here. Yeah, so there's the page layout, no sidebar. So you can see that. We make it into no sidebar and update. And come back here to our permalink and view our page. And now our media room is got no sidebar, and we're ready to rock and roll. Okay. Now, the first article that we publish will obviously come right in here once that article is published. William, do we have an actual article to repurpose tonight? I don't know if William's there or not, but one more thing we're going to do here. We don't see a map down here for the media room, and we want to get that map in here. So what we're going to do, it's one thing I want to cover with everyone. Go to your edit screen. Again, if it's a company, you just hit add company or edit company. It's the same exact form. It's just in a different place for the agency. Under reseller information, edit agency. And we're going to check this box, service area business. When we check this box and go through this little process here, that's going to enable the media room to have the map down here. So to set the place ID, we simply need to know the place ID of this business. If you know how to get the place ID through a Chrome extension or something like that, then great. But there's also a process in our platform here. You just click, let me go back here one more time. You hit set place ID, you hit continue here. The place ID finder is right down here. All we have to do is come in here and enter the Code Nerds, and there they are. Now, if for some reason you have a service area business and the address is hidden, Google is not going to show this business like it does here for this one. If the address is hidden, the Maps API does not allow us to see that business at all. And so we have to get the place ID through another method. I use Leopard Chrome extension to get those place IDs, but you can do it down here as long as you can query it in the Map API, which we did here. So I'm going to select it. Our system then gives you the place ID. We're going to go ahead and just select the entire place ID, copy it, and then come up here, paste it, and save. And then once we've done that, we're just going to come back down here and hit save one more time. And now if we come back over here, we're going to see and refresh, we're going to see the map show up now. And there's the map. Okay. Now, one more thing that you could do is you can actually adjust the CSS on this to make it full width. I'm not going to do that tonight, but to kind of see what that looks like, if I go to our Signal Genesys website and go to our media room, you're going to see this media room is full width. So it just stretches everything out, makes these nice and wide here. And then you get this little bit more room over here. Here you can see it's just not stretched to the full width. So that's just a simple CSS change on the back end for you as an agency. That's pretty much it. We just deployed a media room for the Code Nerds, which is the agency owner of this account for Signal Genesys. He now has a media room in the branded way. We're going to go ahead and launch the media room for him on the subdomain. So we're going to just type in his company name here, the Code Nerds, and then hit mediaroom.app. And now we're going to go ahead and deploy the hosted media room. Takes about 5 seconds, and it'll be done here. And it's now live and ready to go. This is deployed immediately. It's because you can see here it's on an SSL from Amazon. And the media room is live right here. Again, as soon as we have our first article of content, it shows up right here. The About Us page, you can actually build directly in here. So if we go into the edit screen again, and you come down to the bottom, this is the About Us page. We are working out a bug on that right now. If I don't know, I don't think it got resolved today. It might have been, but I think it's going to be resolved tomorrow. But basically, we kind of take a little content here. We can put it right in here. I don't know. The problem we were having is that the formatting wasn't being preserved earlier. About Us and save. And then if we come back here and go to About Us, we'll see that content is now in here as well. And it did preserve the formatting. So, we can come in here and really build out almost a full About Us page. We could, this is what we were doing earlier. So, we can take all this content and bring it into the About Us page here. I'm just kind of copying from the main website, but we're just, nice and easy. And if we save that again and come back here, we'll see it here. And it's not saving all that formatting. So we do need to have that bug still cleared. But then also that media room is going to be still live here as well. The About Us is only on the hosted versions of the integration. So the last version is the branded domain. So we've launched the branded integration version. We've done that by creating the media room code and then just publishing that very simple 2 lines of media room code to the page, which that is now live here. And we've got all of that ready to go. And then the second version of this was the hosted domain, which is on the mediaroom.app domain, which we supply to you guys. You just simply use the company name as the subdomain and then reserve that subdomain. The last version is the branded domain version, which is simply the WWM version. So in this case, we come in here and put the codenerds.com. I just want to make sure that is actually right, the codenerds.com. It is. and then we hit request certificate. I'm not going to be able to actually finish this version because we need access to the DNS settings for this domain. But once we request the domain to be reserved, it's reserved. The SSL certificate is provisioned, and then we get the first of 2 CNAME records that we have to add to the DNS settings. Once these 2 CNAME records are added, the first one here, once the first one's added, got to make sure it propagates. Once it's propagated, we hit refresh here, and then our system will go out and validate that this record actually exists. If it's actually live, it'll find it, and then if it finds it, then we know that you've got ownership of that domain. Then we'll give you the WWM CNAME record. You'll add that one, and then once that's done, then it simply looks like WWM dot, whatever the domain might be. So again, it looks just like the hosted version, but it's on the WWM subdomain. Again, we want to deploy all 3 of these in the best case scenario. You don't have to. You obviously want to at least have the branded integration one on the client's main website and have that integration deployed. But there's no reason not to do the hosted domain. Just add the company name in as the subdomain and deploy that. This is just another digital asset for that company, only it's completely integrated in our system. We're going to automatically do linking or interlinking between the hosted domain and the root domain, the branded domain, and the root domain as well. And all of that with the primary purpose of driving the ultimate domain authority to the root domain. So that is a live deployment of a media room for an agency. And then the rest of this is simply creating content for this company or for other client companies that we add here. Again, adding client companies is the same process that we did through adding the agency. It's just the same form, just obviously a company or a client information instead of your own agency. Once you have companies in here, you'll see the same globe here for integrations and the same A for app channels. You click on the globe, it launches the media room options for that client company over here. Once we've got that set up, we can then come up here and do a press release for one of the companies that's set up. In this case, we only have the agency set up right now, so we're going to have to do the first press release about the company. You can see we check the social accounts in here that we have URLs for. It found our system already has the GMB listing and the map in here. So we're done with step 1. Step 2, we simply come in here and build our article, our headline, our blog headline. The Google document link is just a reference link. You don't have to do anything with this. It's not a functional link. It's only if you have your content in a Google Doc or some other cloud-based platform and you want to put the link in there just for the content reference. But we build our main body of the content right here in the body. Our editor here, you could insert images and videos through image and media. Media is videos. Obviously, inserting links is just that, inserting links. Here we give you the Google CID and Place ID links. If you click on them, it just copies those to the clipboard so that you can then use these links directly in your linking strategy. So if I click on CID, don't know why that just happened. Let me just test this, and it was just working fine. But okay, we may have to just I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But anyway, that CID link should work, and you get the CID link just like I did with the Place ID link. So we may have just a little bug here with that. But headline, blog headline, content here. Once you have a link in here, so if we insert this link, you'll see now under anchor tags, that link now shows up here. If we want to make it a no follow, we make it a no follow. We add in our summary and our blog summary. You definitely want to use these two fields as well. Oftentimes what I just do is I find a short snippet in the main content. I copy that and paste that as a summary. Do the same thing for the blog summary. Once I'm done with step 2, this is mainly my main area of content. We go to the last step. We can drop in additional images here. We checkbox main channel, which is where this is going to go out for news distribution. We can include or not include it in Alexa and Google Assistant, search the voice ecosystems. If you want to include it, just check the box. If you don't, just leave it unchecked. We choose our category for, just choose the one that fits the best, or others if you can't find one that works for you. For all the home contracting spaces, use land and property. If you're a plumber or an electrician or whatever, a stump grinder, whatever it might be, use land and property. Display original source in the press release content, yes. Manually inserted, and then what we would do is we come up here and just grab this media room URL, copy it, and we're going to use that as the source link. We're just going to tell, hey, Google, the source of this article is over here on the media room for thecodenerds.com. And then we're pretty much done and ready to go. So obviously in this case, we don't have any content in here. So we've got to build that out first and then drop in additional images in here. And then once we've done all that and we've chosen, in this case, it's marketing probably because this is for the Code Nerds, we can choose our first available publish date and time, whatever works. And, this is pretty much set up and ready to go. All we need now is maybe a couple of images here and the guts of our content. As long as the content is quality and as long as the content is written in third person, it'll fly and be good on our platform. I guess with the final caveat being as long as it's not prohibited content. Pornography, anything illegal, politics, anything that's anything that a news site wouldn't want on their site. If it makes you kind of go, maybe not, you might ask us first if it's in a gray area. If it is prohibited content and it's submitted to us, it will get rejected and you won't get your credits refunded. So make sure it's not prohibited content. But as long as it's quality content, written in third person and not prohibited content, that's pretty much all you got to do here in step 2 is just make it good quality content written in third person. And that's it. Come in here, choose your company, add your content. If it's somewhere else, just copy and paste in. Understand though that if you copy and paste into the body here and you copy and paste in HTML fragments because you're in a different editor, and in if you go to conversion.ai and you drop in you copy from their system and paste it, it's going to have a bunch of HTML fragments inside that content you're not going to see unless you were to go in here and go to the actual source code. Then you'll see all those source code fragments. So if you see your content looking a little wonky or weird and not maybe following what it looks like here in front of you, it's because in the underlying source code, you've got extra HTML fragments that have been copied and pasted in from somewhere else. So just be aware that if you're copying and pasting in from a live editor somewhere else and it doesn't look right on final preview, it's going to be because you've copied and pasted in extra HTML fragments. If you go ahead and do a preview and things look fine, but it doesn't actually look right on the media sites, it's going to be because you have HTML fragments. So I'm just giving you guys all a warning. Don't publish anything if you've copied and pasted something in from a different HTML editor, unless you've gone to the source code and making sure you've got all that stripped out. The best case scenario is take just plain text content, put it here into the editor, and then optimize it here. You can highlight text and you can tag it with H tags. If you want, you can make it bold, italic. You can change font, font color. You can justify left, center, right. You can obviously insert videos, images, and links. Just be aware of the pasting with HTML fragments in them. And that's pretty much it, guys. William, I'm done. I guess William left too. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys still got a little benefit from just this quick tutorial session on how to launch a media room inside your Signal Genesys account. And then once you have that media room launched and deployed, you're all set up and ready to start syndicating content through it and generating hundreds and hundreds of signals per per article. Essentially, you'll probably generate between 300 and 600 signals per article that you distribute through the Signal Genesys platform and out to the media room, and then ultimately out to the media sites. How many signals you generate from each article of content will be largely dependent on how you set that article up, or how you structure it and what you do to it. But beyond that, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick live session on how to deploy a media room inside Signal Genesys for your own agency, which we did tonight, or for a company, which is the same process, just in the company screen versus your reseller information tab inside Signal Genesys. Have a great night, everyone. Take care.